Hi everyone, thanks so much for joining me for tonight's edition of Your Money, Your Call. I'm Nina May. Well, tonight we hope to help you plan for your retirement just that little bit better. Or if you're already in that phase of life, we want to explore some of the options that may be available to you, in particular reverse mortgages. Now, joining us this evening is Jeff Bresnahan, Managing Director of Super Ratings, which independently researches 500 of Australia's top super funds, personal super and pension funds. Super Ratings not only compares fees and investment returns, but also member benefits and advice. Now, also joining us tonight is Tim Stoyles, who's the Managing Director of Sydney-wide Investments and Mortgage Management. Tim's here to explain reverse mortgages and to answer your questions about the benefits and pitfalls of this controversial mortgage product. So, if you have a question for either Jeff or Tim, our phone lines are now open 1300 30 34 35, or if you prefer, you can email us your call at skynews.com.au. Gentlemen, welcome to the program. Thanks so much for joining us. Two of our subjects that we like to talk about, superannuation and mortgages. Now, Tim, I'd like to kick off the show with you and talk about this very controversial issue of reverse mortgages. For those of us who might not know what they are, for our viewers out there, succinctly explain what they are.
Well, effectively, reverse mortgages for the over 60s area who own their own home, they're on a pension and are struggling literally to make ends meet. What we like to do is to offer them an alternative to selling their family home and drawing down perhaps an income stream or perhaps a lump sum to take care of the small improvements around the home, perhaps buy a new car or take care of their immediate needs. By taking out a reverse mortgage, what they can do is take a drip feed, a bit of debt from the home without having to sell and move elsewhere.
Okay, so what type of people are most likely to use this kind of facility then?
Well, effectively you have to be over 60, you have to own your own home. So the types of people we're looking at are those that are really sort of struggling to live off the pension, because effectively the pension's quite meagre these days, and they are looking to perhaps do some immediate home improvements around the house. All
right, so what can you see as the gains for using this kind of facility, first of all?
Well, it really is, it comes down to an emotional issue. It allows you to be able to borrow against the home without having to sell the home and move elsewhere. Because if you sell the home, you've got to rent. Rental accommodation can be tough to find. And also you may have to move out of the area that you know and love. You may have been in the family home for perhaps 20, 30 years in some instances. You've raised your kids there. Now the grandkids are coming along as well, and you want to stay in that family home. This enables you to do that, and in some instances we've calculated that you are actually better off in doing this and taking a drip feed off your loan rather than selling and putting the cash in the bank, which can affect your pension entitlement.
So the flip side, what are the pitfalls?
They're expensive. They're about 1.5% interest rate above what the bank rates are, and effectively you're using compound interest negatively. It's going in reverse. So the debt increases exponentially with compound interest. The key is to try and draw it down as an income stream as opposed to a lump sum, because if you draw down as a lump sum, that debt blows out a hell of a lot quicker than it does if you're just getting a regular income from that loan.
But this is a generation which more often not has been, I guess, brought up with the idea that debt is not a good thing.
Absolutely. And look, it's an emotional thing when you have to turn to, I guess, perhaps your children and say, look, I'm struggling to live. We're thinking of selling the family home. Ideally, we'd love to stay here. What do we do? And by going and seeing a financial advisor or someone getting specific advice, they might be able to offer this product and show to you, in actual fact, by taking out this loan, the debt is perhaps a good thing because we can slow down the effect on the equity in their home. And perhaps in the long term, you're going to still maintain that equity going forward for the beneficiaries being your children or for a future accommodation bond.
What about if there are people, though, who just think, I'd like to go on a cruise or maybe I'd like to get a flash car later on in life?
Absolutely.
But in all seriousness, do they use that facility for that kind of benefit?
You'd be surprised, Nina. Actually, the majority use a lump sum reverse mortgage to get a new car. And that is a needs analysis that we need to conduct when we're talking to people over 60 that believe they need a reverse mortgage or want a reverse mortgage. We'll show to them, I guess, the effect of taking out that lump sum and what effect that will have on their equity over time. If they want to proceed, that's fine. Once we've given them all the facts, I guess, all the financial information, the pros and cons, they then make the decision themselves.
Shouldn't it only